Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great edition of my Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume Show today, I got a very awesome guest, and he's an actor. He is a model, and his name is Eric Stanton Betts. And he acts too. He did a lot of stage plays, and he was in Mr. USA. He was a finalist in Men's Health, and we're going to talk to him about all of this. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Rume Show, and my interview with Eric will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Rume, and as always, welcome to my nightmare. So stay tuned. All right, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for coming on and being a guest. I appreciate it.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Thanks, man. So the first thing I want to start asking you, a typical question right off the bat, is what drew you to want to act and also do modeling too?
You know what? In fifth grade, I had a really great teacher who saw that I had like boundless amounts of energy and was like very talkative in class and just couldn't contain myself. And she was also the director of all of the middle school plays.
Nice.
And so she encouraged me to audition for Little Red Riding Hood. And I was in my first play when I was 10 years old.
Wow.
And, yeah. And I think, having her encouragement and finding a safe place in school to be express myself and find a place to put all that energy just felt so great and so natural and wonderful. And I just kept up with it through high school when I did my first musical. And, and then I saw a Broadway show in 10th grade in New York. And I was like, oh, wow, this is incredible. Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so it's just been, a journey pursuing the avenue of performing and expression through art and creativity ever since.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And I also saw like you used to do a lot of sports too. Like you ran track, you played sports. What kind of sports did you do?
Sure. So my family is very athletic. My dad was a pro football player. My mom was a competitive swimmer and softball player. My brother and I both grew up playing basketball, soccer, baseball, all of the great American sport. I mean, soccer, more right? And I think because my dad was such an athlete, he had a very heavy hand in our athletics. And he coached one of our little league baseball teams. And when I started running track and field, he was there helping me, teaching me. He never ran track to my knowledge, but he just knew sports. So, but also with his connections at the University of Michigan, where he went to college and played football, we were introduced to a lot of the coaches there. So my brother and I, in middle school, in high school, we both were divers, and we got to dive at the University of Michigan, like with their coach. It wasn't like a regular thing, but once in a while we'd go into the big pool there and we get to dive, and the coach, the college coach would help us. And then let's see. I think running, cross country and track has been my mainstay sport through my life. I started doing cross country when I was in fifth grade and was really good naturally, just really fast. Fifth and sixth grade, I was kicking butt. And then things got harder in seventh and eighth grade when the race got longer. And then in high school, you go up to a 5K and it was even more difficult. But I've been running even more consistently again recently. I just ran a half marathon last weekend, and I hit a PR. I had a really good pace. I was really happy. I finished fifth overall, first in my age group. And I love athletics. I love competition, and it's always been a fun facet of releasing energy. Just the same way I like to be creative and perform on stage or on film, I love to compete. And I think that's so much fun.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I was just going to ask if you still play any sports yet, and you say you're still running.
Yeah, running for sure. I mean, I really enjoy it. I actually got my running coach certification earlier this year,
Oh
so
my
that I
God, that's
can
awesome.
start coaching or teaching, and maybe like in a group class setting, or if someone like reached out to me and really wanted, personal training for like a marathon, I could do that. It's not something I've pursued yet because I'm still new to it. I still need to there's still much to learn, even though I'm certified at this point. And then otherwise, we go to the beach and play volleyball sometimes. I play pickleball once in a while.
Oh, wow.
I'm always up for some kind of game nights alone, like not sports, but like a good board game or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
What kind of board games do you like?
So it's not technically a board game, I suppose, but have you heard of the game Catchphrase?
Yes, yes.
Okay, they have the electronic handheld Catchphrase, and it's kind of like charades in a way. Something pops up and you have to explain it to your partner, and when they guess it correctly, you pass it along. And I actually discovered that game at a what do we call them? Our play nights in high school, like when all the cast of a play would stay over at someone's house, like the last show or something. A couple of the seniors or juniors had this catchphrase and introduced me to it, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to love this." And I always have a catchphrase. Like anytime I travel, anywhere I'm at, I bring a catchphrase.
Okay, nice. And was there ever when you started to model, was there ever a photo shoot that you had the absolute most fun doing?
Yeah, I started modeling in college. It's funny, my best friend from college, Christina, she and we went to school in New York, and we were adamant about coming out to LA and making it big. And we took a week off from school in October one year. We came to LA, and that's when I signed with my first agency, LA Models.
Nice.
And they were really great. They got me on so many shoots, direct bookings. I didn't have to audition for them. I went to Kohl's in Wisconsin, Kohl's catalog several times. And honestly, that was really fun because it was a really well-paying job. They flew me out from New York. They put me up. Someone you have a driver. Everything's catered. Yeah. Those shoots were really fun, and you were just throwing on a t-shirt and shorts and snapping a photo. But probably one of the most. Well, I mean, I had an incredible experience going to Europe for Fashion Week.
Yes.
Milan. That was sensational just because I got to travel for work and everything, expenses were paid in that regard. But one of the most funs I actually had on a shoot was this prom catalog that I shot. And we were all dolled up in tuxedos, and the girls had all these big dresses on, and we were shooting in Ohio. And it was just around, I think we might have been at a school, because it's prom, it's high school, so we were shooting on the stairs of a school and shooting in the gymnasium, and it just felt very youthful and fun and innocent, and part of it's dancing and just you're at prom, so that was probably the most fun I had.
Oh man, yeah, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. Just to go back to your days in school,
Yeah.
And I saw you were a finalist for men's health. How was that? You were in a men's health thing.
Yeah, the men's, that was interesting. It was they were seeking out athletes, and I pursued the application. And ultimately, the grand prize was so many thousands of dollars and a spread in the Men's Health magazine, which would have been really cool. But they didn't lead with up front that we would have to canvass for votes. So that kind of like turns me off, because I enjoy the competition of like winning something based on like merit and skill and experience. But if it just comes down to like who has the most followers and who can get the most votes, or in that case, like raise the most, like have some people you could pay for votes. So who spends the most money on votes?
Wow.
I was just like, I made it through the first few rounds, and then eventually it was like, all right, I'm probably not going to continue on, and I don't want to keep asking people to vote, because I don't want people to keep paying for votes if they've been doing that. My parents paid a couple $100s for it, which is so nice and generous because they believe in me, and that's really nice. But then it just starts to feel like, oh, I don't want people to waste their money.
Yeah, true. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah. And you've also done like a whole bunch of different plays, like stage work. And I was reading that Kinky Boots was actually the play that inspired you to want to start doing film and television, right?
There's always been an interest in film and TV, certainly. Mm-hmm. But I feel like when I booked the national tour of Kinky Boots, it was interesting. I've been living in LA for a few years at this point, and most of the Broadway musicals cast out of New York. And I had actually gone to New York the year before to audition for Kinky Boots, and I didn't get it. And then it came to LA the next year, and I auditioned again. And I was one of only 2 people that they actually cast out of LA, because they weren't finding what they were looking for in New York. So in that regard, it felt kind of kismet. It felt like that was my time and my moment to be in the show. And I think, coming off of a show like that, a show that speaks so much about authenticity and loving others and accepting everyone for who they are and accepting yourself for who they are, that kind of like authentic lifestyle feeds really naturally into film and TV.
Yeah. Because
one of the most important things to be on camera is authentic and true. And I grew a lot through my experience with Kinky Boots, and I was really grateful to get to experience it again a couple years later when it came to the Hollywood Bowl here in Los Angeles. So I performed with it all over the country. We went to Asia with it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we went to China and Singapore to perform. And then they were casting for the Hollywood Bowl a couple years later. And it was like the 75th anniversary season of the Hollywood Bowl. So it was a really big season. It was really exciting. They brought all the original creative team together, the director, choreographer, Jerry Mitchell, for example. And that experience, that show is the show that just keeps giving. The audience walks away feeling great. I walk away from performing it feeling amazing. And like I said, I grew a lot during that experience, because it's hard to sing a song called Just Be who you want to be. Don't let anyone tell you who you're supposed to be. Like, it's hard to sing those lyrics and not live in your truth. And that's what you have to do for film and TV, is be truthful and be honest and connect with one another, because the camera catches everything. Every single thought you have, the camera sees it. And if you're not truthful, like, they're going to see it. Mm-hmm. So I think that, I've definitely dove more into film since Kinky Boots. But I think also that's like part of the catalyst. Like, it was just kind of riding the momentum of like doing such a big, exciting project to be like, hey, I was just in this. Maybe you would like to see me for this TV show next or this movie next. And, it's all timing and momentum and trying to take advantage of, the experiences that you're having for the next one, when it comes along, you're ready for it.
Oh yeah. That makes a lot of sense. That's perfect. When you start doing film and television, what was like the first role you ever had?
I did a small, like, under 5 character in a web series for the director of a play that I was in when I first moved to LA. And that was basically a YouTube series, and it was like teeny tiny. And I mean, it was fun. But then I booked my first feature film. I actually booked my first feature the same year that I booked Kinky Boots, and I booked it for Kinky Boots, ironically. I played Lance Hobart, the star basketball player of his high school. And it's when I shot that movie, we shot it in like the spring, March or something like that. And we're waiting for it to come out, waiting for a premiere. It was a small release. It was all digital. It was on Netflix for a minute though, which was really fun.
Nice.
But once the movie was getting released and we did like a viewing or premiere, I had already booked Kinky Boots. And so I was in New York rehearsing for Kinky Boots while everyone was here in LA screening the movie. So I didn't get to watch it with everyone, which was disappointing. But then I got to watch it, with my loved ones when it was finally out on Netflix and whatnot. But yeah, I guess your question was just what was one of my first things, right? Yeah. Star basketball player.
Hey, which isn't far from the truth, because you're great in sports. So you didn't have to do too much of a role there, right?
Although, what's so funny? I mean, I played 8 years of basketball growing up. But what's so goofy is that the scene, the take that they use in the movie, we're in a basketball practice and someone passes me the ball, and it's the one take that I like stub my finger on the ball and drop it. And I'm like, okay, I don't look that great in this scene.
Oh no, that sucks. And you're also part of this film, Birthright Outlaw, and you play Diamond Kid. And how did you get to be part of that and play the role?
That is one of my favorite jobs ever. I auditioned for Birthright Outlaw, same as most others, I'd assume, and I had a in-person virtual callback, like on Zoom. And it was really fun. Like, so much of, I think, the acting world is working with people that you enjoy being around. You see like people work with their same friends on so many things because they just want to work with the people they love. And so part of, I think, the audition and callback process is showing people that you're someone who's going to elevate their experience with a project. And I don't even remember really like how the audition went. I just remember that I had a really good time in the audition room talking to them, asking them questions. There's a scene where my character gets shot and is supposed to die, and I was like, okay, how's everyone else been doing this? Like, what do you want to see in this moment? And made them laugh. And I think you kind of have to like win the room.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and what was really exciting, so I find out that I booked this Western, Birthright Outlaw. I don't know anything about it other than the fact that I'm playing the Diamond Kid, and that I'm filming for a few weeks over in Columbus, Georgia, and then we're going to move to Tucson, Arizona. Wow. I get, I land, they have someone pick me up, they give me a rental car for my time there. And I'm sitting in my hotel room, just like twiddling my fingers, waiting for, any news, like when's my fitting? When is my first time on set? All this stuff. And I finally get an email with the call sheet, and I'm like, oh yes, call sheet. Great. I'm reading the call sheet. I'm looking at everything. And then I see like 2 names on the call sheet that I'm like, and it's Lucas Black from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is playing the lead in the movie. And then Sarah Drew, who plays April Kepner in Grey's Anatomy, is his wife and female lead. And I'm like, what? like Grey's Anatomy has been one of my favorite shows ever since I can remember, since it premiered. And
Yeah.
Lucas Black was in this movie on Disney Channel that I loved as a kid about him like stealing a horse and riding this horse across the country. And I just remember like really loving that movie and then seeing him again in Fast and Furious. And I was like, oh my gosh, I get to work with these people. And it was really hard for me not to contain myself on set. Like,
Oh, of course. Yeah.
the first time I saw Sarah Drew, I was literally wearing my Grey's Anatomy Graceland Memorial t-shirt. And I did call her April a couple of times. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And she's the sweetest human alive. And, she responded to April and she'd be like, Eric, it's Sarah. And I'm like, I know. I mean, I forget. But that was so cool. I got to horseback ride. We filmed in Georgia and Arizona, like I mentioned. We were just in like really incredible, beautiful settings. This huge rock quarry where the climax of the movie takes place. Mm-hmm. Just insane. And it was my first like big budget studio feature. It was done by Sony. It was really, really cool. It was really exciting.
Was it fun to dress up in the old style Western clothes?
I love like a high-waisted men's pant, and so I had this high-waisted pant with suspenders. The only sad thing is that I had the same costume throughout the entire thing. Like we just didn't change. Our characters just don't change clothes. It's over the course of a couple of days, and I just wear the same thing the whole time. So it was like, I didn't get like the joy of like switching costumes from one.
Yeah.
But my costume was great. They did a really, really good job with it. These big like leather boots. I had a perfectly fitted hat. I looked so cool. And I was the only one on set that had a double holster. Everyone had one.
Oh, really?
And I had one. I had two.
Oh, that's awesome. Nice.
I was a sharp shooter.
There you go. Now, did they train you how to shoot or like how to take the pistol and twirl it around and all that stuff? And
yeah, we had what are they called? Armory. We had some like safety gentlemen on set who were trained in gun safety, and they have us check the barrel every single time. It's never loaded, and then finally in like one scene they load it with just the powder so that it sparks, but there's nothing that comes out.
Yeah.
And I had a couple sessions where I was like, someone teach me how to shoot, because it's not a rifle. Like I don't hold it up here.
Well, yeah.
And you see like all the time in cop shows, they hold their gun and they hold their hand under the barrel and do like this. But old Westerns, it's literally like one hand out in front of you. And I mean, it was just, you just like do that. And so, they taught me like, this is how you hold, this is how you shoot, this is the feeling, like your hand should recoil in this way. And we spent some time doing that because I have a couple scenes. One, I get to like just show off my shooting. And then, in the big climax, I get to use my gun again. And you just want it to be real, and you want it to be believable.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Was there any scene from the movie that you had the most fun doing, the most fun shooting?
I think the scene where my scene partner Olivia, she and I, she plays Hope, and we're kind of like the love interest, the young lovers in the story. And we do have this scene, like I mentioned, where I get to show off my shooting. And it's really playful. We just finished like a horseback riding, like race across the prairie. And she's like, oh, double or nothing, And I'm like, okay. And then I get to kind of, play her a little bit, because I pretend not to be a great shooter. And then I turn it around on her and I shoot the cans off the rock and shoot one up in the sky. And it was a fun day. It was a playful day. The energy on set was fun. We just got to like giggle, and that was really fun. she was such a great scene partner, and she's so talented. She has such a bright future. I loved working with her.
Oh, sweet. And you also have a horror film that's coming out. I don't know how much you could say about it. You play Trent in it.
Yeah.
Is there anything you could say about playing Trent in this horror film?
So we shot this film called Martinez, Margaritas, and Murder. And it is an indie, like, cult horror camp fun film. I have seen it once. I'm anxious to see it again. But yeah, I played Trent. He's a narcissist LA model. And I guess, the only thing to really say, the movie should be coming out later this year. It was supposed to come out last month for Halloween, and then it got delayed. So I think we're looking at a December release, possibly, which is cool. So, the original Scream was released in December, so that did well. But it's Martinez, Margaritas, and Murder is just a big whodunit, kind of like an Agatha Christie Murder on the Orient Express style film. But it's queer, it's campy, it's really fun, it's funny. And then there's some like gore and some horror involved as well. And yeah, it's just a fun time.
Nice. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I was reading up about the film, and it definitely is something I want to see. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, we had a really fun cast too. And that movie is where I met Nicole Tom, who was the oldest daughter in Beethoven and The Nanny. And then one of my favorites, she was in Princess Diaries on Disney with Anne Hathaway. She plays like the teen reporter. And she's one of my dear friends now. Like, we connected so well on that set. We just have stayed in touch and hang out. And I just helped her build a pergola in her backyard. And she's so quirky and fun. And I just love, like, it's the great thing about the arts is that you get to meet different people constantly, and you get to hang on to some really incredible friendships. Same with Sarah, Drew, with Nicole, with Olivia. Like, I love the people that I get to meet when I do these things.
You mentioned that TV show that she was in with Fran Drescher, the nanny. Like, I was hooked on that show. Like, I used to watch that show like all the time, like every week, and I loved Fran Drescher with that laugh.
Yeah, right. I know, she's such a hoot.
Yeah, that was such a great show. I love that show.
For sure. It's funny when I'm like hanging out with Nicole and she's like, "Oh, hold on a sec, Fran just texted me," and I'm like, "Okay."
You're like, okay, I guess I'll hold for Fran.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
and someone that's in that horror movie that scares the shit out of me is Bonnie Aarons, like when she's the nun.
Yeah.
Did you actually get to work with her on set?
I didn't. She plays Renee's character's like agent in the film. And so all of her scenes, if I remember correctly, are like in the agent's office, and she's kind of just on her own with Renee. So I never got to see her on set. I worked with Greg Zarian. I worked with Nicole, Renee, Shaman. But yeah, Bonnie I never saw. There's a detective character that I never saw.
Okay.
I worked with Danny Gomez briefly. He was really great. But yeah, what's funny though is that Bonnie was also in The Princess Diaries with Nicole.
Wait, was she really?
Yeah, she plays the wife of. There's like this other king at the dinner who's like poised to take over Genovia.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway doesn't step up to it, and she plays his wife.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I completely forgot that she was in it.
Yeah, no, I mean, she may have a line or two, but
yeah,
we put all that together when we were working together, and I was like, what? That's crazy.
Nice. And what was it like working for Tyler Perry? Because I see you're also going to be in one of his things too that's coming out.
That was really exciting. First of all, the audition process for this film, which is called Joy Ridge, um, was like a really gratifying audition experience. So, you get auditions in your email, self tapes. They're due in 2 days. Put it on tape, send it back, and I read this scene, and the scene was described kind of like the way it was described reminded me of The Devil Wears Prada. So there's the character Patra, who is like, she's described as this white woman in her 50s, designer, and her assistant, Gildan. And I was reading for the assistant role. And so I kind of paralleled the idea of Meryl Streep and Emily Blunt in Devil Wears Prada. And I read for Gildan and sent in my tape, felt really good about it, was really excited about it. And my manager calls back, and this is like maybe 5 days go by or something. And they're like, Eric, they want you to read again for this Tyler Perry movie, but this time they want you to read for the designer. And I was like, the white woman in her 50s? And they're like, yeah, they might go a different direction with it. And I said, okay. So I pulled up the sides again. It was the same scene, which was nice because I was already familiar with the scene. And I read the scene again, but from Patra's point of view. And so this time I was like, okay, I'm switching into my Meryl Streep, way. And I remember in my slate, I did like Eric Stanton Betts, 6'2", based in Los Angeles. That's all. Her little line in Devil Wears, she goes, that's all. And I did my slate. And then we get a phone call, like, I don't know, a couple days later, and it's my agent, and she's like, Eric, do you have a minute? I have Annette on the line. And anytime they call me at the same time, it's a booking. So I was like, yeah, I've got all the time in the world. And they love to do like a multi-person call to send the good news. And so they booked me to play the white woman in her 50s, but instead it's me. So they kind of rewrote the character. The character's no longer called Patra. He's called Patrick. And I got to be the big boss on set. We did this really amazing fashion show scene. The movie opens to Patrick's fashion show. And the lead character, Joy, is one of my assistants. And so you get to see me as the head designer in the beginning of the film. I come back a couple scenes later, and then I come back toward the end. And I'm really excited for that. That'll be really cool to share with people when it's finally out. But I don't know when it's coming. I haven't heard any distribution news. Just that it'll be on Amazon. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. And the movie takes place at Christmas. It's not really a Christmas movie, but it takes place at Christmas. And so I would think that it would come out this holiday season. But again, I haven't heard any news.
Okay. And how was your road to Mr. USA and the experience being Mr. Tennessee?
The Mr. USA was an interesting experience, to say the least, but it was fun. I was brought on board back in April and was representing Tennessee. I was really excited. Like, I've never done a pageant before. I didn't think I ever probably would do a pageant before, but one of my friends on Instagram had announced that he was Mr. Minnesota. And then I was like, oh, wait, you're doing it? I want to do it. And so they had us on the Pride float in June when it went through West Hollywood. And there were a few of us that showed up for that. Texas, Minnesota, me. And then there were a couple other events that took place in LA that I attended just to like be present and interact with the organization. And then they narrowed it down from 50 to 20 to come to LA and actually compete in the pageant. And I mean, I'm lucky enough that I already am in LA, so I think that helped narrowing me into the top 20. But it was a week full of like adventure and making new friends and just cool experiences. We went up to the Hollywood sign. We did photo shoots by the pool. Me and Mr. Nebraska, my new friend Voy, we would go running up in like the hills or down by Dodger Stadium, and it was just a really great opportunity to make some really great friends and meet some people and share in these experiences and learn from each other's experiences. I'm super proud of Cormac Murphy, Mr. New York, who won the competition. He's such a good guy. He has such a great story, and he's going to inspire a lot of people. I got Mr. Congeniality, which was really fun because Miss Congeniality is one of my favorite movies of all time, and Sandra Bullock is like my number one actress. So I get to draw that comparison for the rest of my life. I wish I would have gone further in the actual competition, just for the sake of, like my parents flew in from Michigan to be there to support me, and it would have been nice to have been able to be in like the top 5 and really compete for a title. But otherwise, like, I had a great time. I made some great friends, and my parents were still proud of me. So that's all I guess I can ask for.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I saw on your page, like everyone that did it actually got to be on the front cover of Playgirl, right?
Yeah, they had Playgirl.
Awesome.
Yeah, Playgirl was one of the sponsors and collaborators for the whole week. So the photographer Daniel from Playgirl, he followed us around, through Santa Monica on the pier, and was present at rehearsals when we were learning the opening number and that kind of thing. And, curated this really wonderful story highlighting the people involved. And he had some really great images, and we got to be featured on the cover of the digital magazine. So, yeah, I mean, great things came from it for sure. Yeah. If, more than just the relationships made. But obviously, I told you I'm super competitive. I wanted to win.
Of course. And when you aren't acting and modeling and being competitive, what do you like doing during your free time?
I just started writing again. I have written a feature film that I would love to, bring into fruition. It's a fun rom-com. It's in the style of some of the like nostalgia films we think about, when it comes to the early 2000s, like 13 Going on 30 or Romy Michelle's but it centers around Carter, who's gay. And I feel like we haven't really seen a film like that, like of that nature, with that character that's not the sidekick or the stereotype. And he just is. It's not really focused on him being gay. He just is gay. And his best friend is Simone, and they go to Australia. And, I've gotten some pretty cool feedback from some people already. One producer really liked it. She gave me some notes. So I've just been writing. I've been tweaking. I have a couple other ideas that I want to put down on paper and get that out into the world as well. And then otherwise, I've got 2 dogs that I spend time with, and my husband, and I am just building this life here in Los Angeles that I, hope to look back at and say that I'm proud of it, and I'm happy. I'm happy where I've been and where I'm going.
Oh yeah, definitely. That sounds awesome. I like that.
Thanks.
And you're welcome. I'm a big horror fan, so I always ask my guests this: are there any horror films you like to watch?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my favorite, this sounds so cliche, I guess, but my favorite franchise is the Scream franchise. I think they're
great.
All amazing. I don't think any of them are bad. Like, some people hate Scream 3. I still think it's amazing. I recently learned that people don't like Scream 4. I thought it was incredible.
Wait, what? Are you serious? That was so good.
I thought so too.
Yes.
I mean, especially having it was like almost 10 years, I think, since the third one came out, and then Scream 4 came out. We were so excited about it. I just was thrilled. And I think the last 2 have been great. I'm looking forward to the next one. I don't watch this one as often as I'd like to, but I think one of my favorite all-time horror movies, like if I'm stranded on a desert island and I can only take like two movies with me. One would be Jessica Biel's Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003.
Yes.
It's so good.
That was good. That was so good.
Like, and I know it's a remake, but I prefer it to the original. I think it's like really grounded like the original was, but I just love her, and I love it's got some scares in it that get me every time, no matter how much I expect it. I always jump.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. I remember the scene when Leatherface cuts the guy's legs and he puts salt on them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was brutal. That was so brutal.
Yeah, no, it's so good. I would love to do a horror movie like that.
Yeah, like one of those, like a Texas Massacre or Halloween or something like that. Yeah.
For sure. Because I think those are the scariest ones. Like, people are afraid of The Conjuring, but I literally like laugh through The Conjuring. I think it's so funny. But like the idea of someone chasing me through the woods with a chainsaw is terrifying. And
no, it is.
And yeah, like that's the scariest thing to me, is because it's real. It's real. The Halloween movies are real. Like that happens.
Yeah. So what would be your go-to karaoke song if you were going to do
one? For years and years and years, I would sing Jesse McCartney's Beautiful Soul.
Oh, yeah. All right.
And I guess I still use it sometimes, but I also really like Gives You Hell. I forget who sings it. When you see my face, hope it gives you hell, hope it gives you hell. You know that song?
Yeah.
That one's fun. I forget who sings it.
I know. I'm drawing a blank too now.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna look on my list.
It's All American Rejects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, great. So good. What's yours?
And my karaoke song is I love like rock songs and metal songs, and there's a band called Fozzy, and they have a song Judas, and it's actually Chris Jericho, the wrestler. It's his band.
Okay. Sweet.
So yeah, like that's always like if I'm in it takes me a lot to get to that point to sing because I don't have a good voice and I don't like singing. So I need like a round of shots and a couple drinks before I get a microphone in my hand.
Sure.
And I guess the last thing I'll ask you is basically where could fans follow you at, and if you want to plug anything coming up.
Awesome. I am on I'm on Instagram at standstoo-tall21. And I mean that's pretty much the only social I really use as far as like releasing any kind of content. And then I have my website www.ericstantonbetts.com, which definitely needs an update. So don't go there too soon, but I'll update it eventually. And the Tyler Perry movie is the big thing that's coming out that I look forward to sharing with everyone. But Martinez Margaritas and Murder will be fun as well. And I mean, I wish I had actual release dates for either of those, but I don't quite yet. And then otherwise, keep an eye out for, this movie that I'm writing, and that hopefully that gets greenlit one day, and that'll be a really cool experience for me to be part of something from the very beginning and see it all the way to the end. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, definitely, bud. Well, anytime you want to come back on, like if you want to talk about any of the films coming out, and if your film comes out, like I would love to talk to you about it. It's been really, really fun chatting.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a blast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, we'll definitely have a really great night and great week to come.
Thank you. You too. I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.